You couldn't make Siskel and Ebert if you were Dr. Frankenstein.
Sound a little excited, Jane.
Sound less excited, Roger.
The story of Roger Ebert, Life Itself, Friday at 9 on CNN.
For Sailor Gutzel, surviving a plane crash was the first ordeal. The next is surviving, of course, the rest of her life without her immediate family. The 7-year-old was the sole survivor of this crash that left her mother, her father, her older sister, and cousin dead. And as horrific as all of that is, she then had to set off alone, freezing, in a dark, wooded area in the rain to try to find help. So we sent our CNN crew, including our correspondent Martin Savage, retracing her steps to see exactly how tough that trek was.
Any direction takes you into deep brush. It's not like I'm looking for the easiest path. There is no path, just dense undergrowth that grabs, trips, and stabs.
This is really nasty stuff. You can see the really sharp needles on here. These are briars.
Got to pull away from that. We'll be back in just a second. We were talking a moment ago about the news. Former Virginia Governor Bob McDonnell sentenced to 2 years in federal prison. Speaking now, take a listen.
And their undying kindnesses in telling me they continue to believe in me despite these proceedings. I don't believe that I would be as much able to handle the news of today without the love of so many people around the state. I also want to thank my distinguished team here of Jones Day and Holland and Knight, John Brownlee, Hank Asbill, Tom Shuttleworth, and all the team that's behind me today. They have really been remarkable, and I know they are enthusiastic about the appeal that will be filed here shortly. I also want to thank my family, who have been unbelievably resolute. This has been an extraordinarily difficult time for my children, my wife, my brothers, sisters, cousins, nephews, nieces, many of whom are here in the courtroom today. And they have been beyond loving and forgiving and uplifting in their support for me. And finally, and really most importantly, I want to say that I have immense faith in the justice system, but I have tremendous faith and trust in the providence of the Lord Jesus Christ and his ability to mete out justice, and so that is my hope for ultimate vindication. I know his love never fails, it never gives up, and it's never going to run out on me, and that's what's kept me going, and will keep us focused on a bright hope for a productive future, so I can continue what I've done for 38 years, and that is to serve the people.
Governor, when
when
you came in today, you were looking at 10.5 to 12 years.
I'm not
going
going to take any questions, so there's no sense starting, okay? So what I'm going to do is my counsel just want to make some brief comments. Let me just say also, I do want to thank you members of the press, many of whom I've known for quite a long time. Many of you have gone out of your way to try to be fair and respectful to my family. I'm very grateful for that. This has been very hard. Being governor is hard by itself, but being governor with these kinds of accusations is difficult, and many of you have gone beyond the call and being gracious to me and my family, and I really thank you for that. John?
Yeah, just want to...
All right, so there you have it. That's the first time we've actually seen former Virginia Governor Bob McDonnell speaking in the wake of this judge officially sentencing him to 2 years in a federal prison in the wake of this corruption scandal he was apparently involved in, exchanging political favors for gifts. He, as you heard him mention, other than thanking his family for standing by him, hoping to win that appeal. But again, if he doesn't, he is headed to federal prison 2 years. Let's take you back to the story out of Kentucky. We've been just marveling over this 7-year-old little girl who managed to survive this small plane that crashed in the woods of Kentucky just a couple of days ago. So she somehow has the wherewithal to walk away, dressed because they'd been down in the Keys, down in Florida, walks through the woods and finds this one man with the single light on who helps her call the ambulance. And apparently she's okay. She's with family now. and this is Sailor Gutzel. And so one victim of that crash was Sailor's cousin, Sierra Wilder. And of course, her family is just absolutely inconsolable. But her mother spoke to
somebody
CNN.
to take away something good from this and just think, you know, we don't have another tomorrow. You know, you don't know who you're going to not see. You don't know if somebody's going to walk out that door and you're never going to see them again. And that's what all her friends are saying at school. They thought they had so much time with her, just like we did. We thought we had so much more time. And I can just thank God that I got to hug her and kiss her before she left.
Let's talk about all of this with Ken Druck. He's a grief consultant and founder of the Jenna Druck Center, also author of The Real Rules of Life. Ken, nice to see you, sir. Welcome.
Good to be with you, Brooke.
My goodness. I mean, when you think about Sailor at 7 years of age, I know you are old enough to know that you were in a plane crash, that your parents have died. How does Sailor even begin to wrap her head around this?
You know, it's going to take time and it's going to take baby steps. You know, here's a kid who found her way through the woods in the dark, and that's going to continue. She's in a new normal with things happening that she can't possibly understand. And it's going to take the adults around her talking with her in dialogue and conversation. You know, we all know from talking with our own kids that the best way to talk to kids is not to talk, it's to listen. So it's going to take a lot of listening to her and taking baby steps and going one step at a time and doing the things that she finds and the adults around her find are most helpful as things settle in.
So Ken, in this new normal, I mean, what is best for her? We know she's with family members. Is it best to go back to, you know, the hometown where she lived, go back to that school, or start fresh somewhere else?
You know, Brooke, those are all such important questions. And unfortunately, we're going to have to take it one step at a time. And we're going to have to ask Sailor. Here's a kid, you know, who obviously knows a lot about what she wants and knows how to find her way. So I think it's going to be taking one step at a time and asking her, as we do with all of our kids, multiple choice questions like, do you think now would be a good time to go back and visit your house, your family house? And she might say, you know, I'm really not ready for that. It would be better if I stayed here. And really taking that into serious consideration, not trying to rush her. The biggest mistake we make is to try to rush kids and to fix the problem. The problem can't be fixed. This is not a fixed problem. This is a stand with her, walk every step with her, and be in conversation with her as she expresses her needs for what she's ready for.
And as you pointed out, to listen. Ken Druck, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Brooke.
A moment of silence today for those two American skiers on a fast track to Olympic glory when they were killed by an avalanche in Austria.